You're Aussie, you know what these two grocery chains are, and you're probably mad at them, and I don't particularly blame you. This graph from Westpac Bank said that half of all families say that they are having finances worse than last year. For more than a year now, half of all families say that their finances have gotten much worse. This hasn't been seen since 2008 in the housing crisis, and a lot of this is due in part of Coles and Woolies. As shown here from the ABC News, Coles and Woolworth has continued to increase every year up to 2023. This is in due part of inflation as suppliers demand more as the money they are getting gets valued less. Makes sense, but they're increasing more than what they should be. Like charging customers even more than what the suppliers are demanding. Sometimes they can even double the by charging customers more. They can they can do this. Coles will buy a product for $2 from the farmers, and they'll sell it at $3, and they'll get a 33% of the item. But once they say inflation hits, and now the farmers and suppliers they sell the items at $2.10. So to stay on track with the inflation, they will sell the item at $3.10. But what Coles and Woolies does instead, they'll now sell it at $3.20, basically increasing their profit by 3%. So now they're getting a 36% gross profit. I think it's in due part of the lack of competition from these two duopolies. They take up more than half of the grocery markets in Australia. They can get away with increasing prices as customers doesn't have much option to go to any other stores. For example, I want to take a look at like this list here, but I want to take a look at Indonesia specifically. Indonesia have one of the cheapest grocery prices in the world. They're basically sixth in the world, and one of the reasons why they have this cheap grocery prices is due to how much competition there are. There's more than 3.97 million grocery retail outlets in Indonesia alone. That's a lot of competition. So they have many options. If one store increases the price, they can go to a different store that is cheaper. So why is there no competition in Australia specifically? Well, you have to understand these stores has been around since the 1910s. If I believe Coles opened up in 1913s and Woolworth opened up in 1924. They've been here for around 100 years now, for like a century basically. And their time in Australia, they have basically bought up all the competition and merged with them, removing all removing all competitions in the market. And when these corporations get this much power, they basically start acting like a mob. They don't act like companies anymore. They act like like a mafia or like gangs basically. And start like start intimidating smaller chains into merging with them, forcing suppliers to for like farmers to make bad deals to sell their produce on as many options farmers can sell to because they basically take up 65%. They have to sell to these companies if they want to make a profit. This um, of this is this man right here. His name is Ross Marcelino. He's selling his zucchinis right now for $2.40 a kilo. But these supermarkets, Coles and Woolies, are, are selling these zucchinis at $7 a kilo instead. That's more than 100% increase to the profits. These farmers, as the prices increases for these like zucchinis, less people are buying them, and when less people are buying these produce, less people and these corporations think people don't want zucchinis, so they buy less zucchinis, and these farmers get paid less. So That's not so. That's one of the reasons why these price gouging is harming the suppliers and customers. I don't want to leave everything on a bad note. This guy. This is the former head of the ACCs. So basically, before he left from the ACC, he said that these two corporations, Coles and Woolies, are way too powerful. We need to break them up. Currently, the ACC right now is pursuing legal actions against Coles and Woolies for price gouging. Imagine after all I've said, Woolies and Coles are basically just scamming customers, and they're getting a lot of heat from the government and the customers. And basically, customers are now deciding they would rather just shop at other stores instead of Coles and Woolies because the prices increases way too much and they can't afford anything anymore. So people are shopping at Aldi's, Food Walks, and like local chains and stores. So so the Coles and Woolworth CEOs they decided to do an interview basically just to basically save face and like to bring back customer sentiments in a nutshell. So they went on this interview on Four Corners from the ABC, and what's especially funny is okay, the call CEO she went in, she answered all the question without really answering the question, basically just a nothing burger. But what's funny is the CEO of Google, Brad Banducci, went on. He he basically just want to get customer sentiment back, but he did a really bad job. I would just say that I'll put like the interview or at least the part where he like made a lot of like he was just being an idiot on in the description, and it's just the funniest part because one point he tried to leave the interview and he awkwardly walked back into it. And after all that, the shareholders basically just kicked him out because of that horrible interview. What can we really do about it? Corporations in the past have always never really listened to customers. What do they do listen to is competition. So what you should do is just shop at other chains. For example, Aldi, Foodworks, or just any local chains if you can. And that's really all we can do as basically customers. And that's all I have to say today. Thanks for listening, guys.